Fairy tales in the modern day begin with "once I am elected."
I honestly just can't say, but I do think he's not saying specifically like I'm going to ban bump stocks or I'm against ARs only because he's running a race right now. I do think he would support anybody doing that stuff. Bill Nelson.
Right, that's all I'm worried about.
Whatever, whoever the next person may be.
I just wish
he can say it just because he's trying to get the moderates and the gun-toting people in North Florida.
All right, this is a fast state.
Okay.
It's a cracker state.
Okay.
Okay? Ask anybody outside of here. You go Port St. Lucie, Orlando. Man, them crackers ain't gonna let us do that. No, you crazy?
So, what is he doing?
He's campaigning. He's politicking.
So you're saying that different environments, wherever he speaks, he'll address a different audience.
Yeah, that's what a politician do.
We went to college together.
You did?
Yeah.
With him?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's how you know him?
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
So you were fighting all the good fights together?
A couple of them.
Do voters know that?
That's not for them to know.
Huh?
That's not for them to know. Remember, I was saying, modern day fairy tales start with "once I am elected." Gillum is a progressive. He's part of the crazy.
It's been 2 decades since Florida has elected a Democratic governor, and the race is deadlocked.
I'm going to spend my time over the next 2+ months getting around this state, talking about the issues that matter to everyday voters in this state.
You whip them up, the poor, the middle income. You have to whip them up into a frenzy in order for them to vote.
He was being left, not left of center.
For the primary.
For the primaries.
Right?
You have to appeal to white guilt. Fairy tales in the old days begin with "once upon a time." Fairy tales in the modern day begin with "once I am elected."
The battleground state of Florida has 2 high-profile elections this year. The Senate campaign, where Democratic incumbent Bill Nelson is in the political fight of his life against Governor Rick Scott. And then there is the gubernatorial race, which could not be closer. It's between former Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum, the Democrat and mayor of Tallahassee. What we found in the Gillum campaign was just what we found in Missouri and Tennessee and Arizona, a candidate lying to the voters he needs to win the election.
So Omar, you're saying that the corporate tax he's counting on the corporate tax to cover all of the programs that he wants to fund.
Right.
I will absolutely not raise taxes on everyday working Floridians to give access to additional
What about wealthier people?
So what I said, and I ran on this, by the way, is that we will increase taxes for corporations in our state.
But what if you want to put all your eggs in one basket? What if that doesn't work out? What else would happen? How would he get money?
Yes.
So then none of the programs that people are hoping for would happen?
Basically.
Well, do voters know that?
I know.
Do voters know that?
That's not for them to know.
Huh?
That's not for them to know. Remember, I was saying, modern day fairy tales start with "once I am elected."
So, are you suggesting that that we should keep this a well-kept secret?
Yes. Why would it be?
Omar Smith, paid by Florida's Democratic Party, works full-time in the Gillum campaign effort. His honesty is refreshing, especially when it comes to who the real Gillum is. And Smith should know. He went to college with Gillum.
We went to college together.
You did?
Yeah.
With him?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's how you know him?
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So you were fighting all the good fights together?
A couple of them.
I didn't know y'all went to college together. That's cool. I didn't know that. So what was he doing? Was he active in college or what?
Yeah, he was the SGA president.
Oh, okay.
We were making a lot of noise.
All right.
We worked hard for the law school, the FAMU Law School.
Okay.
We made a lot of noise for that. Whole lot of noise, man.
A lot of noise.
Whole lot of noise. But we eventually got back to law school. It was placed in Orlando. My brother went to that law school and graduated.
So he was doing it too then? He was like an activist with you then, back then?
No, I was an activist with him.
You an activist? Oh, he was the one doing it.
He was the leader.
Oh.
Progressive is like the Tea Party of the Democrats.
It's the far right. Medicare for all. Borderline socialism.
That's the blue wave.
No,
No,
that's
progressive.
progressive.
The progressive agenda.
Okay.
So you have the extreme right wingers. Those are the Trump and the crazy Republicans. The progressives are the crazy Democrat. You're hipsters. You're hippies.
Isn't that you? Isn't that the cool you?
The hippie.
I guess the hippie in me.
I
yes.
think he's somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's.
Are you not a progressive? Isn't Gillum a progressive?
Gillum is a progressive.
So Gillum is part of the crazy crazies?
He's part of the crazy.
Smith has some very strong opinions about white Floridians.
You have a governor, right? It's good. You got a black attorney general. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, the goal is to switch out your legislatures. So now the governor can get
He can do
what
that.
he wants. The rules in Florida up.
But tell me about it, man.
All right? This is a fast state.
Okay.
It's a cracker state.
Okay.
Okay? Ask anybody outside of here. You go Port St. Lucie, Orlando. Man, them crackers ain't gonna let us do that. No, you crazy? I lived in Tallahassee for 10 years. I've seen it. I went to a black college.
Yeah.
Even my father's wife. She like, oh, them crackers finna take over FAMU. Ain't never gonna be shit. They can't get it right. I hear that so much. I'm like, y'all mother crazy.
Right.
Really?
Smith makes it clear to our journalist that to get Gillum elected will require some serious subterfuge. In other words, lying to the voters of Florida.
Well, okay, so a gentleman called on the phone and he said, fairy tales in the old days begin with once upon a time. Fairy tales in the modern day begin with once I am elected. Okay? So let's go back to Mr. Gillum's platform, right? Mm-hmm. Raise the corporate tax in Florida from 7 to 11%. That will never happen. Raise teachers' pay to $50,000. That will never happen. Give me another position. Medicare for all.
Medicare, yeah.
That will never happen. Reason being, the legislature that writes the bills is all Republican controlled. Democratic governor, Republican legislature. So unless the legislature write a bill and it gets voted on the floor, it cannot pass. You have to appeal to white guilt.
All right, so how would you do that?
White guilt. Why can't it just
because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
So no, I'm with you on that track. So tell me,
if you can't have a real conversation about what it is,
good evening.
You're going to be screwed.
In order to get this agenda through, we need to do it by force. Is that, am I reading you correctly?
Yes.
So, between you and I, we're voting for him knowing that it's not going to happen, right?
No, we're voting for him, hoping that once he make it, somebody else will pick up the fight to make sure that the proper legislators get in office when we vote again in August to execute the agenda of the governor.
Cliff Esserman, who works for the Broward County Democratic Party, agrees.
But no, so what do you think, like, about, you know how, because Gillum, like, during the primary and everything, he was like, Medicare for all, da 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 da. But then as soon as he won the primary, he, like, totally, like, stopped saying it.
Yeah.
Like, now he's
because
not
that's
saying
normal.
it. But why would he change it, though?
Well, because in order to win, he had to be, he's really left of center.
Yeah,
I'm left of center.
Yeah.
So he was being left, not left of center.
For the primary.
For the primary. Now he's going back to left of center. And reality is Broward is really left.
Mm-hmm.
He does believe in Medicare for all, but I'm going to tell you Medicare for all is a federal issue.
Dale Holness, who is the Broward County Commissioner, is also a Gillum campaign worker. He says he knows what Gillum's gun control policies will be.
Mr. Gillum is going to get rid of all those crazy guns on the street. What's going on with that? Crazy people. Too many of them.
So basically, the way it is now, they don't even want to restrict people who have mental illness. We got to not let people with mental illness have a gun. Anybody who's had domestic violence ought not to have a gun because it means they have a propensity for not being able to control themselves. There ought to be at least a 3-day waiting period for everybody, and a full background check for everybody.
And for background check.
And we need to, and these automatic guns that do 60 rounds a minute, they ought not be on the streets either. So that's his plan.
To get rid of them. He's going to ban the assault rifles and then do,
and all that.
Yeah.
Adrian Young is a community engagement specialist for the Florida Democratic Party. He explained that Gillum has to conceal his true position on gun control reforms.
Just so I'm clear, because I was thinking about it again, he just can't say.
I don't say just can't say, but I do think he's not saying specifically like I'm going to ban bump stocks, or I'm against ARs, only because he's running a race right now. I do think he would support anybody doing that stuff. Bill Nelson.
Right, that's all I'm worried about.
Whatever, whoever the next person may be.
I just wish
he can say it, just because he's trying to get the moderates and the gun-toting people in North Florida who don't quite understand the difference between like smart gun ownership and saying I'm taking your guns from you.
Right.
He's a progressive through and through. Some of that is obviously like tactics to not like scare away, because we need everybody. We need the people who are independent votes. We need more votes. We need everyone. But
okay, so he's just saying that to like the crazy Republican Trump supporters.
Exactly.
I'm just curious, what does Andrew Gillum tell those that are not progressives? How does he get them on board?
Keep repeating the same story until it makes sense to them.
Yeah, but he doesn't just go on the fly. I mean, he has to.
You have your set target who believe your story. Everybody there's a campaign message for everybody.
So he's just fabricating stories for each crowd?
I wouldn't say he's fabricating stories, then he would be a liar.
So what is he doing?
He's campaigning, he's politicking.
So you're saying that different environments, wherever he speaks, he'll address a different audience.
Yeah, that's what a politician do.
Is that really being upfront though? I mean, like, why doesn't he tell the people what he really believes?
But laws have to represent everyone.
So if we are sure that we get progressives everywhere, then we can get the agenda done?
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
That makes more sense, right?
It makes more sense. But then now you alienate the conservative people.
That would have just been to
and that
the early voting started.
Is not good governance.
And we're hoping you'll go out and vote for.
But then maybe we don't. Do we have to let them know what the agenda is ahead of time?
You can't.
You can or cannot?
You cannot.
So you cannot let them know ahead of time what the agenda is? Because
No.
then you would alienate them.
Then you alienate everybody. Then you get painted like how Gillum is being painted. No. You are a socialist. You are way out of left field. But that message resonates for someone.
Let me be clear. Omar Smith is not the villain here. He just happens to be the unwitting whistleblower. He seems to be a very politically savvy guy. He's actually quite honest in this video, which is very refreshing. And he makes it very clear that Gillum is selling a bill of goods he cannot deliver, making promises to Florida voters that are simply unrealistic. Time after time, from Tennessee to Missouri to North Dakota to Arizona, the politicians we have exposed have no answers because our reporting is bulletproof. We stand by our reporting. Everything you see here is accurate. They will attack our methods. Claire McCaskill called it fraud. Kirsten Sinema said this week that we're criminals. They will attack our character. But if you watch these videos closely, they will never actually address and respond to the facts we've uncovered. Stay tuned.